Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new Paint and Talk, and this time I want to talk about something that I was inspired by a video from Gamza. It is about power gamers, what is the right way to play. I want to talk about that, and yeah, especially for Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar, where I have more experience, or have to say also fantasy in the past. But yeah, he was talking about the power gamers, and yeah, also about the film to make lists and the spam, and why Games Workshop will support the spamming. Okay, so let me start first on. I always think that there is not a right or wrong way to do hobby, to play. So it's our leisure time. So the objective is to get fun. If you get fun, you are doing right. If you get upset and you really are angry after that, or you feel bored, maybe you are not doing the right hobby. So always think about that. We do that because it's fun. We are not obliged, unless you have a studio and you are doing commission painting or something like that. We don't do that because it's an obligation. Most of us, we are doing that because we like it. So this is the first point. Of course, there will be moments where we will not enjoy as much as we want, or maybe we have that game that we don't enjoy because we are playing against a player that is not matching our style. I will not say that he's not playing well, or will say that he's not matching my playing style. Maybe he's really focused on power list, and I'm not. I'm focused more on the narrative. So this is why, yeah, there is I will say the main problem comes when two players with completely different objective, with two completely different ways to approach the hobby, they try to play and they don't, and they don't match. They just, and this has happened most of the times on the pickup games. Normally, if you create your gaming group, there is a moment that you will arrive to a balance where more or less all the players are on the same page. Of course, some players will be, even in a gaming group, more competitive than others. In the club will be people more competitive than others. But at the end, you will know who is more on your style and who is not more in your style, and naturally you will play more with the players where you have more affinity. So, but summarizing, I will think that yeah, the main problem comes between power players and narrative players. Just to put two labels that I think most of the time there is some players that they can have different labels. So it comes to that when you have two different, completely opposite approaches, it can be boring. And I guess it's boring for both, because one is not receiving the challenge to fighting a difficult list, and the other player is just being wiped out of the battle, right? So then he was approaching that this is the cause of that is that it's very easy to spam today in Warhammer 40k. I will say it's also very easy to spam today in Age of Sigmar because Games Workshop have changed a lot the approach how to build up armies in the last, I would say in the last years. Okay, in the last, yeah, they really changed a lot in Warhammer 40k when they start introducing the lies and the formations and the detachments, and I don't think they will move back from that. And I'm not a power gamer. Okay, I'm not at all a power gamer because I think what I enjoy the most of the time is painting, but I really appreciate that they have opened so much the possibilities, because it's giving, when you are, it's not only for power gamers that this is making a very nice environment that you can really make your list. And yeah, of course, he was talking that power gamers will look for this super efficient unit and they will spam it to the end. And I have seen that. I cannot say that is not true. If you go to the ETC list, for 40k you will see that they were spamming the most efficient units. We have seen how the Brimfall horrors have been spammed and in all the chaos lists, how the demon princes are being spammed on the chaos list, the storm raven also being spammed a lot of times. So we will see always this in the competitive environment, right? But on the other side, I really appreciate this freedom because this allows me now to do the list that were unthinkable on 4th and 5th edition, even beginning of the 6th edition. So making lists like bike marines. This was not thinkable before. No, it's not a problem. If you want to make your chapter just based on bikes, the white scars were not able to have a fully bike army in the past. It was not feasible. So even if you wanted to be fluff, of course, you always can tell me no. But in the past, if you were play with friends, you can agree that you don't you play a legal list, right? And this is true if you don't narrative game. But what happened with the pickup games? If you want to go to the store with your army, you were collecting just bikes because you like them, or you wanted to do really a fluffy, because he was telling me that when you are spamming just one type of unit, it's not fluffy. Okay, if I talk about white scars, why it's not fluffy to just do fast attack units? You want to spam bikes, you want to spam attack bikes and land speeders, because you are thinking to make this type of force. I was doing armies and spamming units not because I wanted them to be powerful, just because I wanted to add some fluff. So sometimes I limit myself. I was doing Imperial Guard, try to simulate something that is more light infantry. I was spamming all type of infantry units. I was making in purpose unbalanced armies. My Space Marines at the beginning, I was trying to spam as much as possible land speeders because I like this vehicle and I wanted to do a very special force. At the end, I ended up doing Dark Angels and focus on a lot on the Raven Wing. Another army that can spam a lot of Dark Angels if you want to do Death Wing. If you want to really simulate the first company of Space Marines, you want to only put veteran Marines, so you want to explode the elite part of the army. So I don't agree that spamming or is just for the power game. It's a lot for some people that want really to make armies very specialized, and does not mean that they have to be really a strong army. So and in my case, that I'm just a collector, I really appreciate that now we have the freedom to do that. And I can go to the shop and nobody can complain that my army is not legal. So in 4th edition, if I was appearing to the shop with a full bike army or full fast attack army, the people will complain that my army is not legal and they will force me to put some troops in so some units of Space Marines or some scouts. If I was going there with a full armored Imperial Guard that is also fluffy, and it's one thing that I was looking for, I started collecting a full armored Renegade Guard in 4th edition. But when they put the codex, that at the end they decided not to make it legal, that was only for to deploy armored Imperial Guard. So I was start collecting that, and I have to end up adding 2 chimeras with 2 veterans just to be able to fulfill the limit. And on top I had a problem because I was not at the beginning only able to put 3 Lehman Russes when my purpose was to make an army based on full armored. So I played this in 4th edition, thanks that my friend was agreeing to let me play. But yeah, I understand if I was going to any pickup game, the people will complain because they will say that it's not a legal army. So what I mean is, I appreciate the freedom, and I don't think the freedom is only for the power gamers. It's also for the narrative gamers. It's also for the people that want to experiment differently. So I was not agreeing on that. He also was saying that the power gamers are the ones that are doing all the sales for Game Workshop, that they are the big batch. I'm not. I don't think so neither. there's a lot of people that is collecting and collecting, and we, like me, and we are not, I'm not a power gamer, I'm just collecting different types of units, different armies. You start collecting one, you start collecting the second army, and it's not that I'm just going there to the last thing. So, yeah, and just to put an example, I don't have even a Imperial Knight in my collection. This is something that I have to change, but yeah, and Imperial Knight was one of the strongest ones. So normally I paint and I collect what it's coming, depending on my mood and depending on the situation. So yeah, I don't think. And on top, power gamers, they do one thing that, because they don't normally, the people that is really focused on tournaments, and of course in all the cases there is exceptions, because I know people that is focused on tournaments, but they also collect the army and they like to collect them. But a lot of these people, when a unit starts not being good, or when an army starts not being good, they go to second market, they sell the army and they buy a new one. And a lot of times they do it on everything on second hand army. So not all of them are really going to buy these new vehicles or these new things. Of course, if it's they will use a lot of second hand market units to minimize the cost, because not all of them have the money to really keep at the edge. So what I mean here is, I don't think spam is only for the power gamers, and I don't think the power gamers are the ones that are spending more money on games. I think it's there is also a lot of people collecting, and a lot of people that does not play too much, but they collect a lot of miniatures, and they like painting. So I don't know. I will really need to. When I look around, at least around here, yeah, there is there is a little bit of mixture on all this. And then, yeah, the last point he was commenting is that the power gamer will never disappear, and I agree. The power gamer will be always there, because it's another way to approach the hobby. And if they like this approach, they will be there. And of course, if you go to tournaments, is where the people that like really the competition and the competitive leagues, and they want to go to the edge and try to go to the limit of try to take the maximum possible. This is the people that will go to the tournaments. Okay, and then again, going to that, if it's part of the TO, I think, to know if something is really, if they want, they can add any com, and with this com limit some units. So if there is no com and in the tournaments, it's because the people don't ask for that and they don't need it, or the TO does not want to have it. If the people start complaining, most likely we will still see more and more com and limitations on what type of detachment we can take on 8th edition. So I think it's, what I try to say here is, I think Games Workshop is giving us the freedom, a lot of freedom, and it's up to us sometimes to put the limitations that we want, especially a big responsibility that falls onto the TOs when they are organizing tournaments. But yeah, and I think that's all what I wanted to talk. So now, let me know, what do you think? So do you think it's having this level of freedom, allies, you like more the model we have today, where we can have a lot of freedom in order to make the army to personalize, or you really prefer, like it was in the past, in fantasy, where we were obliged to take some units, and there was not possible to make an army without taking troops or taking what was called in fantasy, what was taking the standard units. Or you prefer now that we have more freedom. Of course, we still have these troops, especially we need to take in some cases. In Age of Sigmar, we still need to do that, but it's becoming more and more open. So you like more, you appreciate more the freedom, or you prefer more a restrictive way to build up armies? This will be the question. The second point is, Mm, yeah, do you think this is only for power gamers, or also people that likes to collect and do more narrative armies is also benefiting from that freedom? Because yeah, I just shared, I think it's not only benefiting the power gamers. Of course, the power gamers will never disappear and will always try to look for this unit. And then the last question I want to do, and here maybe we can have a little bit more of chat. Do you think the game is more balanced, was more balanced, for example, in 40k, people that have more experience? Do you think the game was more balanced in previous editions than the current one? Do we think Warhammer 8th edition, 7th edition, meaning no fantasy, we can take up to, I don't know how many editions, were more balanced than what is today Age of Sigmar? Or is more balanced today, or is the same? So I would like to know what is your opinion. So was the game more 40k more balanced before, or no? What is for you the most balanced edition in Warhammer 40k? Yeah, it's a fluffy. So it's a balanced army, more fluff than extreme army, or it depends. Or it's something deeper than that. This is another question, because, yeah, as I say, I think there is a lot of examples of fluffy army that are quite extreme, depending what you want to represent. Imagine that you want to represent really an assault company of the Space Marines. You can go everything on jump packs. So, is this less fluffy than making a balanced force of the Space Marines? But really, also think on previous editions of 40k. I always have seen this list. I remember I was playing 40k in tournaments in 4th and 3rd, 4th, 5th edition, and there were lists that were really overpowered always, and was possible to spam anyway. I was playing again. I remember there was a Dark Angel army that was everything plasma. So they were 12 plasma cannons, and then units of 5 with 1 plasma gun, and then I don't know, Land Rider, and then there was other armies that were able to spam. What else is the Star Cannon, the one that from Elder, that is doing a strength 6 AP3 at that time, and was killing Space Marines like if they were made of paper. So I have faced all these armies, and there were restrictions on number of troops. At the end, the people was paying the tax or the toll to have of the troops, but they were spamming what they were needing. Then it came the Iron Warriors, and was the same. And there were a lot of restrictions. Was a very restrictive detachments, and only one detachment for everybody. And I don't think this was more balanced than what we have today. Okay, today we have more spam maybe in some units. It's easier maybe to do the spam. Let's see how edition is evolving, because I think we still have not seen the real meta. And I think now Games Workshop have put to himself the tools to be able to rebalance by leaving the points so open, so easy to modify, and so on. So this is the chat I wanted to have. Especially was inspired by Commissar Gamza. I will put the link to the video from Commissar Gamza below, and I think I will add this video to the comments of Commissar Gamza so he can be aware of my response. But really, my thinking is, I don't think giving freedom is bad. I understand that the power gamers will try to benefit from that, but I think it's also good for people that they just want to collect something special, or they want to personalize it, opening the door to be able to personalize more your armies. And yeah, and my point is, I don't think the game is less balanced now than it used to be in 4th edition. It's different. I think it's different, but I don't think it's less balanced today. Yeah, I was forgetting also the Demon Prince of Slaanesh with the lash with the lash that was able to move your troops toward him and then killing everybody in the process. Being able to nullify with AP2 and ignoring invulnerable saves. So yeah, I think having able this unit, always having this unit or this weapon that is overpowered versus the last one. And I think now the advantage we have is that the Games Workshop is putting tools to be able to modify this faster than before. So that's all what I wanted to talk. As I said, please leave your opinion in the comments below. I really appreciate to know what do you think. I know that can be sometimes a sensitive topic, this one, but I wanted to have some chat about this. That's all for now. And as usual, thanks a lot for the people that is watching this video, and thanks a lot if you're commenting below. That's all for now. As usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.